I'm indecisive at the best of times, so I'm like, do I retire, do I not retire, do I retire?
Sarah Hunter is the most capped English rugby player in history. A daughter, a sister, a teammate and captain, Hunter's enjoyed the greatest days at the top of the game, along with facing some of the toughest through injury and heartache. As she announces her retirement, it became a chance to talk about what matters most to her as a role model, why now is the right time to hang up the boots, and what she might do next. Sarah Hunter, MBE. The news is out. Retirement has arrived. How does it feel?
Yeah, like really good. In the strangest sense, like obviously, I think I'm gonna miss playing rugby like massively, but I think it's always something that's gonna have to happen, and like. I guess as you get older, you know it's coming and it's about when or how, and I just feel like this is the right time to do it in many ways. You know, I know I'm not playing till the next World Cup, so I know it's always going to finish soon, but then the opportunity to play at Newcastle and to say goodbye there and hang up the boots was just too big an opportunity to not do. And when I made the decision and spoke to Mids, it just felt right, and often people have said that when they're retiring, like you'll know that moment and it'll feel right, and this feels really right, and I think that puts me at ease with the decision that I've made.
Yeah, totally. And who's known the longest? Who've been the sort of people you've sought counsel for? I mean, it sounds like your gut feel has guided you there itself. But. Yeah,
I think it didn't go. I'm indecisive at the best of times, so I'm like, do I retire? Do I not retire? Do I retire? My family have known for a little while. I've spoken to them about what should I do? Like thinking I've almost wanting them to give me the answer.
I was going to say, what sort of response are you wanting from people?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, I thought like them saying yes, but they like, and everyone, and like Nathan, my boyfriend, like speaking to him, and they just want the right decision for me in terms of like, they're like, well, whatever your decision is, we'll support you, and as long as you're happy in that, like we'll make sure that's like it's the right thing for you. So they weren't really helping. I went to see Katie Daly-McLean. I was like, right, she's done this business, she'll know. I went up and I was like, how did you decide? Like we chatted it through, and I was like, oh, I could stop now, and then like it's done, I don't play. And I was like, but there's a Newcastle game. And I was like, it's too big an opportunity, but then like, what if it doesn't happen? And I was like, maybe the right time is now. Like going back, I was like, how do you decide? And she's like, I went through exactly what you did. I was like, thanks, Katie.
Yeah, great. Okay, like, good to know.
But yeah, I think talking about it, obviously I spoke to Mids at length about it, and he's been brilliant, like really, really good.
Looking then at the highs and the lows, and let's perhaps start with the highs.
I think obviously the biggest high, well, not one of the biggest highs, I think the initial high was getting your first cap. Like that was the dream. Like as a 16-year-old, when I knew there was a women's team, it was to play for England. And yeah, like that happens, and you're like, right, what next? Like it's such a proud moment. It'll stand out for a long time, forever really. And then I just didn't want to be a one-cap wonder, genuinely.
The irony of sitting here now, yeah. 140 under your belt, 141 coming at the weekend.
Genuinely, I was just like, right, I don't want to be a one-cap wonder, so I got my second cap. I was like, brilliant, going to try and get to double figures. And then you're like, well, what's next? Or you want to be a world champion with your team, like you want your team to be the best in the world. And then the ultimate high of winning a World Cup, like obviously, you were there, you shared it with us. I
love that people being very confused, thinking I played in the England rugby team for a minute, but yes, there as videographer more than anything.
Yeah, but like you were in with us in camp, and I think like when you get into a World Cup, like every staff member is part of the team, and they like go on that journey to win it with that team. It still gives me like goosebumps, like thinking about it. It was just like incredible. And will always be the most amazing memory, and I guess you'll always have that to look back on with that group and the people that know, and like it's just a situation that an experience that only those people who've been involved will ever understand what it means to each other, and I think that's really unique and really special. So that's like definitely a standout moment.
In terms of lows then, I mean, do you regret, do you sort of, you know, relive the ones that got away?
I don't think like regrets as in like you look back and like regret what happened. It's like for me, you want to try and learn from it, and it like losing World Cups is obviously the biggest low that I think in rugby you can have, in terms of, I think 2010 was so long ago, I kind of forgotten about it. But I think I was like a young, inexperienced like England player, first World Cup, and at the time you were absolutely devastated. But I think it was like rectified by the fact that we won. And 2017 was really hard to take. It was mine first as captain, and I just genuinely thought like naively that I should be able to do something to be able to change the momentum, the swing of the game, and to be able to get us back in. And I took that pretty hard and pretty personally for a long time after. And I remember like vividly, you know, it's like, right, you've lost, you're gonna have to go and do a press conference. And I just remember going in the lift with you at the time, and you like just squeezed my hand.
There was a service lift at the back of the stadium, wasn't there, that took us from the playing level right up to the top. And I'd happened to be down there, and then we both got in for you to go up to your press conference, and we were both sat, and we were stood at the back of the lift, and you were just staring at the floor, and I could see you were sort of full of tears, and I just put one little pinky over yours on the back of the lift.
That was like a moment where, you know, and you just, at that moment, you need someone, and it was like, I don't know, it was just like perfect that, like, it was someone that you trust and like knows got your back to, and a friend that can just go, right, you've got this. Following it, like I probably struggled for a few years to like process the whole thing, but yeah, finally did, and like you realise that you're being completely irrational. But sport does things to you, strange things, and then I guess like the World Cup that's just gone, for very different reasons. I think the thing that gets me is just seeing like players who first World Cup it is and who are genuinely distraught by it, and like everyone was, but I just wanted to try and be there for the team and to like make sure that we knew that like we'd done everything we could, like, and to be proud of the journey that we'd been on. And again, I know it's cliche, but like one result doesn't define us, and I still strongly believe that, like, yes, we'll be gutted we always haven't won that World Cup, but I think the strength and character that we showed in that final particularly was like a testament to the group, and one that I'll be forever proud to be a part of. And yeah, so I think in that sense it's a real low, but it's kind of a bit of a high to know that I've been part of a group. Like, yes, we haven't won, but it's special in its own right.
Is there anything left unsaid or undone, career-wise?
No, I guess the only thing I think, I mean, is a thank you to everyone. Like, and I don't think I can say thank you enough to all the people that have helped me, like all my teammates that I've played with, all the teams I've been involved in. Like, they've made the journey absolutely incredible. And yeah, I just think without them and the people that have helped me, like big or small, from grassroots to international, like the fundamental effects each and every one of them had on me is like made me the player and the person that like I've gone on to be. And yeah, like that. So yeah, I mean, maybe winning a premiership would have been nice. It would have ticked all the boxes. But other than that, I can't complain. I've had the most like incredible like journey that I could have ever asked for. Like, I mean, I didn't even know there was a women's team when I started playing at 9. So to go on and play for England has been like, yeah, mental.
I mean, when you took on Rocky Clark's record and have made it your own, you had messages from lionesses, from the likes of Jill Scott, from family, friends, legends, left, right and centre. But how do you reflect overall?
Oh, that's a very like deep question. Do you know what? I genuinely don't think I've had time to reflect on it. I think I probably haven't let myself because I'm still playing. And I don't want to, whilst I'm still playing, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, wasn't that good? Like, didn't I do well? Like, it's kind of like, well, I'm not done yet, so I can't breathe out yet. I can't breathe out and look back and go, what I've done, especially when it was in a World Cup. I mean, it was like, the team were brilliant, like what they did for me, and you know, like to have Jill Scott, I mean, Alan Shearer, of all people, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, he knows my name.
Yeah.
You might know who I am, but he knows my name. I'm like, I'm sure.
I think he knows.
I'm sure some of the girls were like, who's that? I'm like, you don't know who Alan Shearer is. Anyway.
Do you accept that the role you have played may mean that the next 9-year-old girl that's saying to their parents, I really enjoyed rugby, it's going to make that conversation a whole lot easier for their parents to say, yeah, all right, well, we can do this.
Yeah, I like going to games and walking around and seeing like the young girls there. I think like that fills me with like, I don't know, this warmth of like energy that these young girls now have, hopefully an easier path than what we had, and actually they can play with girls of their own age rather than maybe having to play mixed rugby. Not that it was a bad thing. I think again that probably helped me to become the player I was, but you know, that they look up and they can see us. They've got real role models, and again, like you look across our team and we've got like 30-40 really positive role models of like individuality, of the young girl going, I look like her, I can be her, I can grow up to be an England Red Rose. I mean, and that's what it's, for me, that's what it's all about, like creating those and inspiring that next generation. Like that's the one thing, like again, you take all the successes, the trophies, the medals, the caps, everything away, and you're left, well, what is your lasting legacy? And I think like the generation I've come through and got to is actually our legacy will be that we've created a world where young 9-year-olds can look up and be like, I can be a Red Rose, and kind of inspiring them in believing in that as well, and seeing it, and that actually it's definitely something they can go and do.
You've totally done that as well. You're going to set me off in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's get towards rounding off then. I mean, what's next? Is there going to feel like a big void of rugby, a big rugby-shaped void you're going to have to fill, or have you spoken to others about what that feels like?
No, I haven't actually spoken to others what it feels like, but maybe I should. Do you know what? I've just kind of like rolled with it. Like, oh, I'm going to retire after the Newcastle game, and then people are asking me really practical questions. I'm like, I haven't really thought about that. No, but I am actually going to go back to Loughborough. I'm going to coach. I'm going to see where that takes me. Yeah, and stay in rugby. I'm not sure I could have a life where rugby doesn't exist, so that will be the next thing.
What do you think then rugby's given you to help you with the next chapters in your life?
I do think being in like a team environment has probably cemented that's my passion. My passion is like being around others, like being in a performance environment, like to like help each other succeed. And I think that's something, I think being in this team, especially England team, and being a successful team, hopefully they're the sorts of things that you'll take into whatever happens next. And I think, yeah, like learning and being around different personalities, I think that's the sort of things I think for me I'll try and take with me wherever I go. And I think one of the things it's a very special place being part of the Red Roses, and I guess it's that mindset and ethos, like we'll try to impart, obviously not the same, but just about the standards and behaviours that it requires to be an international athlete and a high performer internationally. Like we'll try and take that with me wherever I go, so hopefully whatever next can be a success. I mean, being as successful as it is in this team might be a little bit hard by
You've
myself.
You've set a high bar.
Without sort of 30 of your other mates to help you along the way. It might be quite
I'm sure
challenging.
you won't struggle to find an extra 30 people to help you whatever you do next.
So
You can feel pretty proud of everything you've achieved, I should say, and although a couple of those things might have resulted in silver medals rather than gold, I think the way you've conducted yourself, the way you've led England has been pretty inspiring for many, and I think the legacy you will leave will go on for a number of generations to come. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
And enjoy retirement.
Yeah. What to do?
Holiday?
Holiday.
We'll see you in September.
Yeah, exactly, with a nice tan.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Sarah.
Oh, thank you.